All right. Hey, guys, I know you get a lot of hate from folks who just assume that in order to be successful in your program, one must gain a lot of weight and eat as much as they can, which in their minds equates to just getting fat. I will state that I am not one of those people. However, in regards to the topic, what are your thoughts on what a person should do once they get to a new increased body weight? Should that person maintain there and get as strong as possible at that new weight, and once that stops, proceed to gain another 10 pounds of body weight and repeat the process? For example, I'm 6'2". He's 40 years of age and he's 6'2". He started the program at 205 and now he's 225. I've been at 225 for about 3 months, and I've been in a caloric maintenance as I focus on getting as strong as possible at that weight. My lifts are all still going up, but as one might predict, they are starting to slow down. That's because you're trying to eat caloric maintenance.
You got to look at body weight as a trailing metric.
Right.
So if you're what he's doing is he's going to come up against his recovery capacity and then hit a wall, and then he's going to have to do it again. It's not the smart way to do it. You have to keep pace. So if that means you don't gain 10 pounds in the next month, but you only gain 5, but it's keeping pace, it's much more sustainable and a much smarter way to do it. And you'll never if you do it right, you should never feel like you're getting overly fat. Yeah, it's right. Trailing, guys. The body weight thing is trailing. So by the time you have hit the wall with your lifts and your body weight hasn't moved, you've already fucked it up.
Your lifts should not slow down.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you're going to slow down from novice to intermediate and intermediate to advanced, but you should still be making progress. And if you are trying to eat what would be caloric maintenance, that's going to slow down your progress. You're going to get stuck.
Yep.
You're going to get stuck.
It's hard to get unstuck.
And it's hard to get unstuck.
Slow, sustainable is the way to do it, especially when you're not 25.
Yeah, and especially if you're not.
Young, skinny guys need to do it.
Just a physique competitor.
Yeah, young, skinny guys need to go balls out,
I mean, look at the most successful physique competitors in the history of the sport. The big, strong guys like Coleman and Yates, even Arnold. These guys were big guys. And they did not get big by maintaining caloric balance, or whatever you want to call that. Frank Zane was not big. He was a beautiful man. Beautiful man.
He still is.
But it still is a beautiful man, but he's not big. If you want to get bigger, you have to quit worrying about your body fat and eat enough to drive your lifts up. Now, what will happen to your body fat is that it will go up a little bit, but not as much as these panic-stricken people on the internet seem to think it's going to do. That's not what happens. If you're training your ass off and eating 5,000 calories a day and 300 grams of protein a day, you're not going to get fat. Your body fat percentage may go up 2 or 3%, which will put you at 18, 19, 20% body fat, and that's not fat. That's not fat. 20% body fat is not fat. See, everybody that's involved in this undertaking seems to think that physique competition is the metric by which we judge whether a program is proceeding successfully or not. It's almost universal that all of you people think that visible abs are the key here. You know who cares about visible abs? Other men. Now you think about that. You think about that. Other men care about visible abs. Are you training for other men? or are you training for strength? Think about this real hard, because that's a very important question. You think that women are concerned about visible abs. Ask them. Ask them. Women are not, they don't want to date a big fat slob, okay? But you could be 25% body fat and real strong and not look like a fat slob. You know, fat slobs don't train. Okay, fat slobs are you know, eat a bunch of shitty carbs and, you know, sit around on their ass and watch TV, and that's what a fat slob does. But if you're training hard and you're eating 5,000 calories a day and 300 grams of protein, and you're watching your carb intake, you're not going to be a fat slob. You're going to get big and strong. You're going to have big traps and big arms and big shoulders and deep hips and big quads. That's what you're going to have. And that comes from 5,000 calories a day, 300 grams of protein, and PRs under the bar. That's what it comes from. PRs under the bar are the trick here. If you're not making PRs under the bar, then you're not training productively. Okay? Anybody want to add anything to that?
Good to go.
Yeah.
All right, now, let me finish this question. I believe by doing this, I able to continue to gain strength while also completing a recomp of muscle to fat ratio at the same time. This method, I believe, resolves the false narrative of just getting fat. Well,
He's thinking like a bodybuilder.
He's thinking like a bodybuilder.
No, he's not thinking. I mean, this is the common misconception, because everybody will take what you just said. Not right now, but when you went through the whole process, and assume that you want them to get big and fat, and then they have to lose weight. You don't. That nobody is telling you to get fat so you can put 50 pounds on your squat. What we're telling you is that you need to gain weight because weight gain equals bigger muscles.
Right.
And how quickly you do that and how meticulous you want to be with your diet is going to determine your body composition. Recomposition.
And your genetics.
Of course.
Let's not forget
yes.
that gets so lost in the fucking
but that's
argument.
That's a fixed variable. It doesn't matter because it's, you know, your genetics are your genetics. But for everybody, your how careful you are with your diet is going to determine how quickly you gain fat and at what caloric intake and so on. So you have to figure it out, and you have to be meticulous about it if you care about this stuff. If you don't, fine, gain a bunch of weight, put a bunch of weight on the bar, great. But if you care about it, recomposition is not the way to do it. It does not work. You're going to end up at the same strength level for the next 3 years and at the same body weight for the next 3 years.
Join us this week for Starting Strength Radio. Join us again this week for Starting Strength Radio, because this week, well, we were just discussing this. This is going to be the best paper Q&A that we have ever done. The very best one we've ever done. And I know
It's hard to believe.
I'm excited to see it, even though I've already, done it. But I'm excited to see it, and I know that you'll be excited too. So join us this week, right here on Starting Strength Radio.